Welcome back. You are looking live at the Israel-Lebanon border as we continue to closely monitor the situation in the Middle East. We are back now with our coverage of the U.S.'s launch of retaliatory airstrikes in Iraq and in Syria. Of course, that's in response to a deadly drone attack in Jordan that killed 3 U.S. soldiers. The U.S. is insisting it is not seeking conflict with Iran or in the broader Middle East. But the question remains, what happens next? Let's bring in former Department of Justice National Security Institute founder Jamil Jaffer. Jamil, welcome.
Thanks for having me on, Hannah.
Of course, we are thrilled to have you. So what is the political impact of these strikes?
Well, look, obviously, this is a critically important moment for the White House and President Biden. 3 American soldiers killed in Jordan, over 140 attacks just since October 7th alone, and many more over the last few years. The president has got to be seen both politically in the United States and globally to respond forcefully and directly against Iran. These strikes, the 85 strikes at 7 locations across Iraq and Syria, are a good first start. But at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of folks calling for, as you saw General Wesley Clark just call for, strikes directly against Iran to really deter this activity. And so the question becomes, with the DOD saying this isn't the end of the strikes, what happens next? Do we hit Iran directly?
I do want to go back to that. Do you think that should be a strategy for the administration?
Well, look, I think it has to be. I think the administration has to learn the lesson, even just from the Red Sea strikes that have gone on recently in the last few weeks. We've seen Iran-backed Houthi rebels coming after commercial shipping, U.S. warships in the Red Sea. We haven't seen too many U.S. casualties as yet. That's lucky. The problem is that we've struck back against many, many Houthi targets. That has not deterred them. And the reality of that situation is very similar to what's going on in Iraq and Syria, in the sense that attacking Iranian proxies doesn't deter Iran from backing those various proxies to do it again and again and again. You've got to hit Iran directly, make them feel the pain, and continue to do so until they stop conducting those activities.
Now, the message from President Biden was absolutely clear. He said, look, if you mess with our soldiers, we're going to retaliate. What is the message that sends to the rest of the world?
Well, look, I think it sends the message to the rest of the world that we won't take attacks on American soldiers. We won't take the killing of Americans anywhere in the world, and we'll respond as appropriate. The challenge, of course, is you've got to not just be seen to say that, you've got to do it, and it's got to be effective. And so if these measures aren't effective and these attacks go on, the administration's got to do more and more. And the truth is, you only raise the risks if you're viewed as your responses are ineffective. If you continue with ineffectual responses and you don't continue to respond, you don't take the fight to the adversary you know that's done it, then you're ultimately going to be in a situation where other adversaries will also try to take advantage.
We know Hezbollah, or at least a branch of Hezbollah, has agreed to stop attacking U.S. troops. Now, if Iran-backed terrorist organizations or groups like this one say the same thing, could this one action lead to a ceasefire moving forward?
Look, it's certainly possible. The real challenge is the Iranian leadership has very little incentive to stop attacking Americans because, again, they're not feeling the pain. So let their proxy forces take it on the chin. They're not feeling it. Why not continue this until they're made to feel the pain? And then, and only then, when they think the U.S. is going to really respond and has the stomach for the fight, will they come to the table and potentially negotiate, a fight that they have escalated, right? The administration's right to be concerned about escalation. The problem is Iran is escalating because they see us as weak.
Do you think members of the administration are going to actively push for a ceasefire now that 3 U.S. troops have died overseas?
Well, if we're talking about a ceasefire with Iran, obviously that's a goal. If we're talking about a ceasefire with Israel and Hamas, I think there's very little chance that we're going to see that anytime soon. Israel's made clear that after the attack, which was essentially the equivalent of a dozen 9/11 attacks on the United States on a population-adjusted basis, they're going to do whatever it takes to clear Hamas out of the Gaza Strip, take out all its leadership. Until that happens, I don't think we see a ceasefire realistically in the cards.
Jamil Jaffer, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thanks, Hannah.